And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition. Oh my god. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 68, your weekly dose of PiGosaur Cup action. Bienvenidos. I'm of course Showside VIP. With him, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome one and all to one of our many catch-up streams. I did see herO in the chat, and yes, that is correct. We have 4 PiGosaur Cup broadcasts this week. Essentially, we're catching up with all the PiGosaur Cups that we have missed throughout the course of the past couple of weeks. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. And we should be able to do so this week. All the PiGosaur Cups back. Let's go. The week of El Chanchito, papi. True. As for this tournament, unfortunately, there weren't many replays provided for this event, specifically for PiGosaur Cup number 68, so we're going straight into the semis. Typically, we cover some of the quarterfinal matches first, then into the semifinals, then into the grand finals. But here we have only those semis and then leading into grand finals. So it's going to be best of five between MaxPax and herO. We have our initial PVT. Otherwise, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves again. It was a pretty intense day of content last night, going through all the TLMC finalist maps, and likewise going through the Wardy TV Monday as well. Today, the goal of the broadcast or the schedule here dictates we have PiGosaur Cup this morning and we have Kung Fu Cup this evening. That is going to be the plan. Coming into the rest of the week of content, with GSL also beginning this week, RSL beginning this week. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft, all the StarCraft. Let's go. It's gonna be intense. We'll be there for it. Meanwhile, jumping in, game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. Let's go. Jumping into the semis. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Big Stick Brewski in the chat. God, thank you so much for subscribing for 3 months with Twitch Prime. Gracias. Do appreciate it. Here we go for another month. Bienvenidos. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting of the StarCraft, as we are jumping into our fresh series and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Terran player. The Red Terran, the South Korean Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is herO. Here we go. We're jumping into our best of 5 semifinals match. Bear that in mind, the PiGosaur Cup does have a slightly unique feature when it comes to the event itself, and that is a best of 5 semis, whereas most events, most online open cups do have best of 3 semifinals. That's not the case here, not for PiGosaur Cups. So we get to delve a little bit further into said best of 5. And we'll see how our players will approach this. Now, when it comes to recent weeks and recent months, when it comes to PVT and MaxPax versus herO, he has been going back and forth when it comes to aggressive play and mid to late game play. herO, he was renowned and known for being able to build up on 3 and 4 bases and excel in said mid to late game. But in recent times, we have been seeing more aggression out of herO, especially against players like MaxPax, like herO, like Classic. So we'll see if that trend continues. Bearing in mind, we are loading into Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a large map of the map pool, does favor longer later games, so aggression is not going to be too favored here on Winter Madness. This would be a map to open up economically and to build up into the mid game. We're seeing that here. Single gas opener. We're going for a faster command center here on the low ground. So far so good. Economic started at herO. MaxPax here to delay, and MaxPax, he does delay by like a second or two. That was at 445-ish, 450-ish when it comes to minerals. So does cause a slight delay as MaxPax backs off, pulls away, and will soon get into his tech of choice. Now, MaxPax does vary things up a little bit here. He's not as diverse as herO, but Twilight Council or even Stargate play, both are options available to MaxPax. He's not really one that does delve too much into like robo-based play or robo-based openers. Not really his wheelhouse, mainly Twilight Council or Stargate into Blink Stalkers or Phoenixes. Meanwhile, herO back at home is going Marauder first. Ooh, okay, so Rax expand straight into the tech lab, but no Reaper, no SCV scout either, 0 scouting information. We're going to be opening up Marauder back at home to try to catch any additional units early on to harass, and we're following this up with a 3 racks. So Marauder opener into a 3 rack stim timing, a very aggressive build here. It's going to hit a very strong timing. First things first though, can we catch that first adept? So the goal here is to lure the adept in. The bait, the temptation is the building SCV. That's why the adept is coming, to try to delay the CC on the low ground. Marauders, they move in, and can we catch the first adept? Oh, let's get a shot off. It does get a shot off, but alas, MaxPax, he did shade away just before moving in, and ooh, does shade away. Whew. Yeah, MaxPax, he shades away, he can pivot back around. Cure, he fails to catch the first unit. You can see he's trying and hoping to catch another reinforcing adept. We can see that MaxPax, he does actually pull away. Yeah, he does pull away, does avoid the Marauders once again, and MaxPax, he can now get in towards the mineral lines. Uh oh. Yeah, Cure does miss him. Cure does miss him. Back at home, we have a battery that's halfway done. We have Stalkers that are going to be warping in. It's going to be a very tight hold here for MaxPax. At the same time, though, again, he's going to be harassing across the map. He even gets into the main. And Marauders are deflected. SCV is going to be going down. Does shade into the natural. And so far, a better start for MaxPax. MaxPax, he defends, he attacks. He kills 2 SCVs, he denies mining. And MaxPax, he even got a full scout. Yeah, he got a he confirmed. He confirmed the 3 racks. 3 racks into the factory, into the starport. Again, a heavy biocomposition, early stim. And MaxPax, he reacts with his own gateway explosion. So he's going 4-gate blink, 4-gate blink stalker. Now the reason why 4-gate blink can work really well in this position is because of the build of Cure. Specifically, because Cure went for a heavy racks build, where are the tanks? There are none. Right now there is 0 tanks to defend, and without any safety bunkers here either, it's going to be a very tough hold. Now what I will say is that this factory was a little bit earlier. If you notice, it was a 2nd racks into the factory into the 3rd racks. So it was a delay on the 3rd racks here to allow for some tank production. This is a unique variation from Cure, and I'm curious to see how many tanks will pop out and whether he can defend against the 4-gate. It's going to be close. Bearing in mind there are no safety bunkers, so the low ground here is a little bit more vulnerable than what we are used to seeing. MaxPax move out, and the Prism is on the way as well. Not across the map yet. And now MaxPax does break in. And catching a 1 Marine, but will bleed out a Stalker. Bit of miscontrol there from MaxPax. I mean, he does get punished by the tank. I'm sure wasn't quite expecting that. So again, the first tank is out, the second tank is on the way. And again, Cure going for this earlier tank count here. It's actually working quite well. So far so good. MaxPax looking for a way into the main. Cure is in position, tank is sieged. And where are we headed? MaxPax does hug the edge. Head for the main base. At the same time, we have Stalkers here outside of the natural. Does drop in. Dives into the mineral line. Gets 1 SCV. Gets 2. Only 2. So far, Cure is holding well. Likewise, this can lead into a pretty brutal counterattack as well, as we do have additional tanks. Additional more than normal. Observer gets caught. That's catching the Observer. Right now, the onus is on MaxPax to delay, right? To delay Cure, to keep him pinned back at home, to delay any kind of push, while MaxPax saturates. 3rd is up and running, 4th base on the horizon. MaxPax is just building up. From here, he's looking for another way in. Blinks into the mineral line. Gets a Marine. Gets a Marine, pulls away. Still containing Cure. Cure is going to be very careful here as tank is unsieged. Oh, there's our Sim. Yeah, Sim's in, trades 1-to-1. I believe that was 2 Marauders for 1 Stalker. As Cure moves out, Prism threatens a dive. There's nothing in position at the natural. There is an opening. And MaxPax does not quite go for it. And now Cure is distracted. MaxPax moves in. And Cure, he does react. It does react. Reinforcements getting called out. Access once again poking in. Getting 1, 2 more Marines. And Cure holds. And Cure does hold on. Did cost him 4 SCVs. Can we get 5? We can. 5 SCVs to go down. The War Prism was sniped, so a bit of an expensive trade there for MaxPax. As now Cure expands. And now we're building up in towards the mid-game. MaxPax, I will say his 4th base is late, so a bit of a later 4th base for MaxPax. Cure just now claiming his own 3rd, building up his bio army. He has retained his tanks throughout the course of this game. True, hasn't lost any tanks. Now moving up with 4. Yeah, that's a heavy tank count. Storm is done. Zealots, they do hit the 3rd. Ooh, massive storm. Oh no, he's standing in it. Oh, yeah, massive storm. Zealots were distracting. 3 SCVs going to be going down. And oh, Cure, his army crumbles. Tank did fall. A bunch of the bio. Marauders are low. He stood in the storm, pappy. Ay, ay, ay. And Cure, he has to back off. Yeah, he cannot push. He cannot push. Not after that storm. I mean, not just that, but the fact that MaxPax has what additional storms waiting for him as well. Cure cannot push in. And MaxPax has gained map control. Has gained it. I don't think MaxPax can necessarily break this position. I will say that Cure is a bit out of position himself. Okay. Does rotate. First storm is spent. We got 2 more storms left. And MaxPax does not get in. Shatters that one deeper. At the same time, ooh, the Prism does the massive warp in. Yeah, massive warp in into the main base. We have cells dropping in towards the natural. Army moves in. 1 tank goes down. There's 1 tank left. Sorry, there's 3. Oh, the High Templar. Okay, they pull away. Yeah, they pull away in time. Tense moment there from MaxPax. He has to pull away. He has to pull away. The High Templar are exposed. And he will lose 1. Yeah, 1 Templar goes down. Warping continues. MaxPax does pull away. And that's still going to be 10 SCV kills. 10 SCVs and a delay on the 4 CC. Does delay. From here, MaxPax he recalls. Cure, he does defend. And I will say the MaxPax, he had better trades here. He got a tank, he was able to get into the mineral lines, get SCV kills, trade with the army, while taking more bases. It's one of those things where MaxPax, he can afford these trades, Cure less so. So the goal should be for MaxPax to back off, rebuild, remax, and keep pushing. Just keep moving in. And just not allow Cure to stabilize and take a 4th. Cure, he will have Ghost now. Ghost, they are going to be in the mix. But it's still going to be a tough hold. We'll see if MaxPax waits for Cure to take a 4th base. Or he moves in ahead of time. Okay, Prism towards the natural. Zealot Rambe here towards the 3rd. Main army is being activated. So MaxPax is setting up that tri-pronged attack. I say that the flanking zealots do rejoin the main army. Never mind. To rejoin. Here comes the zealot warp in. And MaxPax is maxed. Ideally, he does want to hit with the main army first. Especially to allow to free up some supply so that the Warp Prism can go in, unload, and then warp in as well. Prism does get in position. MaxPax pushing forward. It dies a couple of Marauders. Prism should be pushing in as well. Oh, yep, now rallying in. There is a turret. And turret's in position. Prism does get into the natural. Oh no! Oh my god, the Prism barely survives. Nah, I spoke too soon. Yeah, no warp in. No warp in into the main. The storm into the mineral line. Ooh, the army's clumping. We get some decent EMPs. Decent EMPs from Cure, but still going to be 9 SCV kills, and he bled out a lot of bio. Cure does hold. He's holding on. MaxPax. What's scary here is that he preserved his main army. So 4 Colossus, 2 Immortals, we have 5 High Templar. Still did preserve it. This MaxPax is rotating. He's remaxed. Did I say 5? Now up to 7. 7 High Templar. Zelsa calls a distraction. MaxPax moving in. It does move in between the bases. Doesn't find a way in there. Okay, Cura's in position. Zelsa hit the middle line once again. Storms, they do lead the charge. Zoning back here. He's still got what? 7 more storms. Oh my god. Oh god. He's got plenty of storms. Oh, one Colossus goes down. He gets 2. Vikings, they should clean up. Massive EMP. Okay. Yeah, massive EMP. MaxPax, he clumped up. And Cure, he's barely holding on. GG. GG gets caught. He's still just losing too much. And MaxPax, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Cure, he was quote-unquote surviving, but he had no economy. He was losing SCVs. He had no 4th base. As we were trying to emphasize leading up to this moment, Cure could not afford these trades. Could not afford them. It's one of those things where MaxPax, he can afford to trade inefficiently and still come out ahead. That's how far ahead he is. That's just how much map control he has and how many bases he has as well. Winter Madness can be quite oppressive just because of the size of the map itself. What I mean by that is that on smaller maps, that is where Terran players can be more aggressive, can be more active, can be more punishing, and can more freely move out across the map to try to catch their opponent out of position and off guard. On these larger maps, it's more difficult to move out and be active just because your opponent has more time to respond, more time to catch you, scout you, and punish you. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax does take the first game, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Okay, game 2 is going to be on Tourmaline. Oh, we go from the extremes, one of the larger maps, into one of the smaller maps. This is where I do typically favor Cure. Let's go. Un momento mimo. Big shout to Este Solens in the chat. God, papi, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing to Shrine for 12 months. A year of support. 1 year, papi. Un año. Crazy, crazy. Gracias, gracias. Do appreciate it. Este Solens and his watch streak. Crazy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. As we are jumping into our second game and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be settling into game number 2 here. And again, the rush distance by ground is very short. Very short rush distance by ground. Very accessible, natural, accessible 3rd base, accessible 4th base. Just everything is open, everything is accessible. And it does allow for all-ins to be quite prevalent on this map, specifically from the side of the Terran player. As a result, we do expect to see hyper defensive play out of MaxPax to be safe, to survive, to build up into a longer game. Already double gas opener out of Cure, going for a faster factory. This can lead into reactive Reaper Hellion. This can lead into committed Cyclone play, can lead into early tank pushes, can lead into Banshees. Cure, he has options to be active, to be aggressive, to tech up. He has options. Likewise, MaxPax, we're leaning more towards, say, 3-gate blink, like 3-gate blink with a robo as well. Technically, we have been seeing players like Creator and even players like herO and Classic mix in robo openers, where you go for the fast robo into the fast Bay, into fast Immortal, and then Colossus production, just to rush into Colossi as quickly as possible, just to have that kind of strength in the mid game. But I don't really think MaxPax is one to really dabble in that kind of play. Expecting Twilight Council. So we're expecting. Once we are moving in. As Reaper breaks in, Reaper going to be affected. It is going to be Twilight Council Opener out of MaxPax. Meanwhile, back at home, it is going to be the initial Reaper Hellion. No reactor, no big commitment. It should only be 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion. No, sorry, building up a little bit further. Triple Reaper, double Hellion. So decent force to work with early on, and the goal here is economic damage. The goal here is to try to get into the natural, into the mineral line, whether it's the natural mineral line, whether it's the main base mineral line instead, and go for worker kills. You see Cure hug the edge. Despite that, they will spot each other. Catching at the depths. Thinking about it. MaxPax is locked into the center. And it's going to get caught out. Ooh. They do trade 1-to-1. Likewise, you have the repair on the Hellion as well, so nice defense here by Cure. He defends well, but alas, now MaxPax is fully aware of the Reaper Hellion, and back at home, he is walling up. He's walling up here in Nice Sim City, no way into the natural. Meanwhile, if you remember, it was a double gas opener, and we were curious what was going to be spent on. Well, initially Reaper Hellion into Cloak Banshee. So we have fast Cloak Banshees here from Cure, and so far MaxPax has yet to scout. There are no sentries. No sentries, no hallucinations. MaxPax sees nothing in the main. MaxPax has no idea. But he is going into the 4-gate blink once again. Okay, so 4-gate blink stalkers into the robo as well. We have hyper aggression out of MaxPax. No observers yet, but he does already have the robo. So same build, 2 games in a row for MaxPax. Reaper Hellion does get in. MaxPax out of position. Oh, I say that, but it gets surrounded. Yeah, he gets surrounded. The Reaper Hellion gets shut down. Oof. Kira has to pull away. He does have to pull away. Going back in with his Hellions. Once again, MaxPax in position, punishing the Hellions. Stalker's moving out. Does have that Prism. And we'll see if Cure can hold on. He does have his 2 tanks. So his tanks, Stalkers, they do hit the natural. Getting 1, 2 SCV kills. Ooh, does pick up in time. Does pick up. Denies mining. Kills 2 SCVs. Not bad. Not a bad start. Likewise from here, MaxPax taking his 3rd. Temple Archives on the way, working towards Storm once again. It's the same build. MaxPax going 4-gate blink into his 3rd, into Storm, into charge. Same follow-up here to MaxPax. As he gets eyes on the setup. Blinks in nonetheless. Hey, does get a free add-on. Catching out the reactor. This is the reactor. Takes out the depot as well. Ooh, even supply blocking Cure. Yeah, that's actually a hefty supply block here. Jesus. Yeah, 2 deepers gonna be on the way. Meanwhile, the Banshee does finally reveal itself. They can one-shot. 3, 4, 5, 6 probes. Very nice damage here. 8 probes. Okay. 10 probes going to be going down. 11 probe kills for 2 Cloak Banshees. That is well worth it here for Cure. Yeah, that is worth it. Did take a while, but again, they did pay off. MaxPax now moving out for his own counterattack. And back at home, Cure, he should be secure here. He's got a decent amount of Marauders in the main base. The Natural's lacking Marauders. The Natural's a little bit weaker defensively. Oh, MaxPax, I'm sure he's tempted. Uh-oh. What? Yeah, pokes in. Doesn't quite go for the dive. Just 2 SCVs. Oh, the temptation was there, practically. Doesn't go for it. Yeah, MaxPax pulls away. Nice mine shot. Just the one, though. Just one connects. They'll still get into the main. At the same time, MaxPax hitting the third. Hoping to delay. Not quite able to. Curie's holding. Oh, no. Ooh, the storm. Massive storm in the Marines. Marines, they get softened up. Ay, ay, ay. Curie has to back off. I will say that Curie, he has established his third base at a reasonable time. Like it's not bad. He's got his third up and running, getting saturated. Curie's holding his own. MaxPax now taking his own fourth. Bays on low for Colossus. I did mention that we expected Curie to be more aggressive on this map, and I still stand by that. Ooh. But Curie did go for a relatively safe start. He went Banshee, yes, that's true. Alien Reaper into Banshee, but now he's slowly getting his third base up. And can soon start to push. I say that the Academy's on the way. Tells us that Curie's going to stay at home at least until Ghost production. Until he's got his Ghost. Until then, MaxPax, he can claim another expansion. He can just go for a fifth. Build up his fifth base. Going for Colossus. MaxPax even just races back home. And now we have a lull. Now we're just calming down, Pappy. Calming down. Cure, he is going to be able to get into his Ghost production. So Ghosts are amassing. Vikings are amassing. Cure, he is slowly building up that army. MaxPax sees everything, by the way. He's got 2 observers covering both attack paths. So he will see any attempted move out. So he's free to just expand. Take more bases. Second Robo's on the way for more Colossus. I'll say from this point, MaxPax does not need to push in. Does need to engage the defensive army. Ideally he does want to fight out in the open. Out on the map. Curie does catch one of the observers. Does get one. See MaxPax fan out with the zealots to make up for his lack of observer. Zealots are fanning out. And they should spot the main army. Yeah. Spots, more bases, more expansions. I do favor Cure here, just because, again, he's being left alone, left to build up. And unlike the previous game, Curie should be able to max out. And we spoke earlier about the strengths of Tourmaline, the shorter rush distance by ground. It means that Cure is not going to take long at all to start to push, to start to move out, to start to defend bases. The pressure is on MaxPax to slow Cure down. So here comes the fourth base. MaxPax moves in. Tanks on siege. Doesn't get one. Ooh, storm lands of the Vikings. Yeah, brutal storm. But the tank volleys are solid. Once again, turning away. Once again, massive tank shots. Zealots hit the foot expansion. Oh, tank volleys on the Colossus. Yeah, this was not worth it. I mean, it does get a tank. Does pick up a couple of tanks. Was the one. And more zealots are reinforcing. Collapsing in from the top side. Oh, storm of the ghosts. The EMPs were good though. They were okay. EMPs, they graze the army. There's still more storms coming in. More storms. Tank goes down. And MaxPax is pushing through. Can he get into the mineral line? Can he get in? Ooh. EMPs connect. No storms. Okay. No storms. Curie's breaking through. Getting on top of the Colossus. Down to 1 Colossi. And MaxPax still does not get in. Yeah, still doesn't get into the mineral line, doesn't kill SCVs. Curie, he defends very nicely here, he defends very well. His planetary is now up. And MaxPax is in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. He's bled out so many High Templar. He bled out, what, 7 Templar, 3 Colossus. He did lose his high-tech army. We were praising MaxPax in Game 1 for having these engagements and preserving those core units. Here, he's not been doing so. Here, the core units have been being killed. And that does make it more difficult for MaxPax to rebuild. To remax. So these have been better fights for Cure. Nice EMP. Storm comes in. Oof, Colossus gets sniped. More EMPs landing. And again, MaxPax cannot move in. Try to happen on the ghost. Gets one. Takes down one. Takes down just the one. Singular ghost. Storm's gonna try to zone. Ooh. EMP does connect. Just the one storm, but there was only one storm available now. EMPs are brutal. MaxPax clumped up. He was clumping. And Cure's in the driver's seat. As soon as Cure took his 4th base, I mean, Cure, he's been in the driver's seat here. The 4th base is all you need for the Terran army to max out. Now he's even getting a 5th. Kites away. Gets 1, 2 Colossus. And again, MaxPax is struggling. Oof. They get more Archons. Does come with a couple of storms, okay. He's still got 3 storms in the chamber. Finally gets into the mineral line. And this is finally the damage he was hoping for. He was looking for this entire game. He breaks the expansion. Again, behind this, just not enough ghosts, not enough EMPs. And now Max actually has a foothold. He's got a foothold. With this, he can ensure that Cure does not maintain a 4-base economy. We spoke earlier, but that is typically what you need to be able to max out and maintain your army. Storms connecting. Oof. Brutal storms. Another storm on the top side as well. Storms are zoning back. There are 0 Templar left. It's mainly a gateway army. MaxPax is still gaining ground. Oh, he's trying to. MaxPax getting punished. 3rd Colossus now on the way. How many Vikings are left? Only 3. Yeah, only 3 Vikings. That's not good enough. Doesn't have the Viking count, Pappy. Oof. Yeah, 2 Vikings left. We'll get 1 Colossus at least. No. Here come the High Templar. Here come the storms. And with that, MaxPax has done it. Again, Cure, it was quite impressive. He was defending very well on 4 bases. We spoke about it. He was maxed. He was maxed out. He was defending well. He was out trading MaxPax as well. But MaxPax, he eventually was able to wedge himself in. Eventually broke through. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take a 2-0 lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Cure, he was defending well, was doing everything correct when it came to this game, securing himself for 4 bases, building up into Ghost, building up into his bio tank. Never quite switched into Liberators. I did see a Fusion Core, but we never quite went for that Liberator switch. Regardless, we saw that MaxPax eventually broke that 3rd base. It took a while. It took a long time for that to happen, and things were looking dire there for MaxPax, especially considering what he was losing in each fight. But no, he eventually was able to break through. He was able to break through, retain his High Templar, zone away with the storms. Likewise, the Viking count was very low. I wasn't quite able to confirm for the beginning of the final fight just how low the Viking count was. I know it was low towards the end, but it's possible that maybe Cure did kind of slip by the wayside when it came to his Viking production. And then with that, breakthrough. Finally got into the mineral line. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And with that, MaxPax takes a 2-0 lead, and now we're getting to game number 3. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. And this is where now I'm concerned. If you recall, in my mind, Tourmaline, that was supposed to be Cure's map. That was meant to be his map, and he did perform better on Tourmaline than he did on Winter Madness, that is true, but that was meant to allow him to even snowball into a win and to be able to have that back and forth. For Tourmaline to go the way of MaxPax, things don't bode well for Cure. Does not bode well. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. And we need something more here. So, as a reminder, last game, what did we see out of Cure? Cure, he went for a double gas opener. He went for Reaper Hellion into Banshee play. It did some good damage. He was able to kill 11 probes across the map, which allowed Cure to actually be able to secure his own third expansion, right? Build up his own economy, his own army, his own third base as well, and build up into a solid mid-game. We need something more here. Welcome to the Old Republic. The Old Republic, it is a bit of a larger map, that is true. Has a longer rush distance by ground. But the biggest thing about the Old Republic is how open and accessible the fourth base is, and even the third base to a certain extent as well. Referring to this third, referring to this fourth expansion. As a result of that, the idea of the Terran player being more defensive and turtling up like last game and securing his third base and then slowly securing his fourth base is much more difficult to achieve on a map like this because of its open nature. Again, Tourmaline does have an open natural and an open third location, that is true, but at least the bases themselves are very centralized, very localized, and you can very quickly kind of rotate between them. Here, we're going to be spreading ourselves a little bit more thin as we expand, and we'll see if Cure can maintain himself, if at all. We might even see an all-in. We'll see. We shall see. Fun fact, every game of this series, MaxPax has gone for the same build. Remember, game 1 and game 2, we saw 4 Gape Link. Because we saw 4 Gape Link into Charge, into Storm. Has been the case every game so far. We'll see if he does again. Here we go. Five more Templar, true. So chat, is this the most recent PiGosaur? No. We live casted the most recent PiGosaur. There's a couple of PiGosaur Cups that we did miss sporadically. But the most recent PiGosaur Cup we did live cast last week. That was PiGosaur Cup number 70, was it 76? I have to double check. Sorry, 78. 78. Yeah, there's just a couple of tournaments that we missed out on, so we're catching up. This is the week of PiGosaur Cup. This is the PiGosaur Cup week for us, where we have, I think, 4 PiGosaur Cup broadcasts this week. Catch up on all the PiGosaur Cup action. Todo el chanchito. Actually does pull away. Behind this we have Cure going for his own 1-1-1 follow-up into, I thought it was going to be Widowmine drop. Yeah. Making additional mines. Going for his own drop play. Meanwhile, Twilight Council open at the MaxPax, going into Blink. And so far, 2 gateways. Do we finally go for a greedier build this time? Every game, it's been 4 gate Blink at a MaxPax. Finally, we might see 2 gates. What you got? I spoke too soon. 3rd gateway's on the way. And the 4th gateway. So there it is, 4 gate Blink, 3 games in a row. It's 2022 all over again. It's ay. Back when Max I did almost nothing but 4 gate Blink Stalker. Those with the days. /2023, if I recall correctly. If I recall. You know, Curie does dive in, going for the mine drop. Does come to the dive. MaxPax does react in time. Despite that, ooh, does lose 2 probes. There's still 1 mine shot left, getting a 3rd. 3 probes go down. Medevac taking a lot of hits, but will get away. Stalker's not quite in position. Behind this, we do have it up shading into the main. Wait, what? Oh, that should not have happened. 6 SCVs? 6 SCVs going down. The mine job does nothing in comparison here. And if they get in, they pop up. Max actually has momentum, diving into the main. Oh, goes to the mineral line. Picking up more SCVs. Yeah, getting to 8 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. 8 workers going down, getting the depot as well. Tanks are repositioning. And Cure's in trouble. There's about 8 SCVs, a depot, a couple of Marines. Cure's back around. Mine drop does come back in. Oh! MaxPax reacts. MaxPax does react in time. Tank is exposed. Tank goes down, and this is getting in hand. This is getting in hand. This is getting out of control. Tank falls. The bunker. The Marines. Boys are being fooled. Desperation here by Cure. Bleeding out more SCVs. That's well 6, 7, 8 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. We Hellion, Desperation. We dive into the mineral line, doing some damage. Does he go for Stim? Okay. Stim should survive, thankfully. Yeah, the boys are being pulled to repair. Stim would have been crazy, would have been brutal. But Stim will make it. We'll make it in the end at least. Cure's still trying to hold on. 4 Stalkers taking 1-shot SCVs, and they will. 2 SCVs going down. Oh. And as it all settles, MaxPax is up a base, he's up an entire mineral line, he's now up in tech as well. Temple Archives is on the way, into Storm, into Charge. MaxPax looking comfortable. Even getting a 4th expansion. Curie's only on 2 bases. I mean, that's just how far ahead MaxPax is. That's how... Oh, no, he even catches the drop. No. Drop spotted. Cure is denied. And so what do we do here from Cure? I mean, again, the rush distance by ground is longer on this map, so just pushing across and trying to even pull the boys is not going to work too well. He's going to auto expand. Oof. Going for the 3rd base. He's opting for the expansion. Which means MaxPax he has map control. He's getting his 4th fully operational. Now taking up into the bay, into Colossus. And it's going to be a tough mid-game here, Vikira. It's going to be tough. Now, there are some slim ways to try to recover here, like what we just saw at Cure drop play, right? If he was able to slip out with a medevac and slip out across the map, then he could maybe find some damage and alleviate some of that pressure, but he didn't get across. He got scattered. And here comes MaxPax. Takes down 1, 2, 3 Marauders. 4. Oh my god. 4 Marauders go down. MaxPax he pulls away. War Prism still ready. Has yet to commit in. Setting him it. MaxPax pushing further in. Tanks those volleys. Storm on the tank. And the tank does go down. Now go for the SCVs. At the same time, War Prism is cleaned up. Oh, no, he got in. Ah, that's fine. War Prism gets shut down. Yeah, cleaned up in the main. But MaxPax still gets another 10 SCVs and denies mining at the third, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Denies mining. Deals economic damage. 5th base is on the way here for MaxPax. Still up to expansions. And there is a world where maybe Cure can turtle up on 3 bases, but it's gonna be difficult. I mean, it's just the nature of PvT, and how oppressive things can be if things go too heavily in one direction. MaxPax will have to take some really poor fights for Cure to be allowed to even get a 4th base. Like, we're talking about Cure, like, defending and turtling up on 3 bases and maxing out, but getting a 4th base, that's going to be another massive hurdle here for Cure. As MaxPax is getting a 6th. Getting a 6th expansion. So much SC2 to watch. There is. Still halfway through the GSO qualifier. Ah, no. There's so much StarCraft, Pappy. Speaking of, GSL begins this week. Does start this week. Don't forget. We have GSL and RSL as well, to be fair. Both of them to begin this week. As MaxPax is pushing forward. Oof. Storm does zone. We have 3 Colossus moving in, and there are a lot of ghosts, a lot of EMPs. Oh, God. EMPs are landing, and again, MaxPax can afford to take a bad fight. It can be inefficient. Leads out 2 Archons, once again, very nice EMPs. Catching at every single Archon. Sure, he fights so well here. Like, the best fight he could have hoped for. Cleans up all the Archons. MaxPax is out of storms. He fights well. But Zelce just get out of that. It's still too much. Again, that's maybe the best fight the Cure could have hoped for, but GG gets called, and MaxPax, he does claim the series 3-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MaxPax will claim the series and will advance on to the grand finals. GG, well played. Once again, though, to reiterate, Cure, he did fall behind very, very early on. Cure, he was sustaining too many losses on his initial 2 bases, and even eventually, even before he got his 3rd, if you remember, he was losing 6 SCVs to the Adept Harass. Then we got 4K Blink into the main base, killing more workers, catching on more units as well, dropping into the natural base, and Cure, he was just torn apart. He was torn apart in the early game. That's why we were emphasizing how brutal position was, where Cure was still on 2 bases, his 3rd wasn't even done, and we saw that MaxPax was already getting a 4th. He was already getting a 4th base, he was already taking up as well. This was a very comfortable game for MaxPax. That's why we were so doomer when it came to Cure and his ability to even try to max out and even survive. It was just a very rough position there after the rough early game for Cure. A very, very rough early game. And with that, we're now getting into into our grand finals. MaxPax does advance on into the grand finals, and it is going to be a best of 5 series between MaxPax and herO in a PvP. Let's go. Let us go. For now, we are going to be going on a short break. Again, it's going to be a bit of a shorter broadcast here tonight, just because we do not have the upper semi-final replays, so we're quite limited in what matches we have available. So we are going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the grand finals. Again, best of 5 between herO and MaxPax. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the short break. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals of grand finales here of the PiGosaur Cup number 68. Weekly open cup, weekly open tournaments. We just wrapped up with MaxPax versus herO, and now we're jumping into MaxPax versus herO. We have the grand finals here, best of 5 PvP, and I'm curious to see how our players will adjust here. These two have a bit of history, and PvP especially has been a bit of a hurdle here for MaxPax to climb. We'll get into it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of at 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player, the pink Protoss himself, representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. So we're jumping into our fresh series, into our fresh best of 5, and we have our PvP Among Us. Let's go. Among Us. Now, when it comes to our initial matchup here, MaxPax, there was a time where he had the best PvP in the world. This was back in 2024 era of StarCraft. A couple of years ago, MaxPax, he was peaking. He had the best PvP in the world, and he arguably had the best PvT in the world as well. He was looking very insane. It was looking very intense. Of course, that was back when the MaxPax opener was all the craze, but starting last year, especially with the change and with the removal of the shield battery overcharge, everything changed. MaxPax, he did dip when it came to PvP, and he has been struggling that much more. Now, in recent weeks, in recent months, we have been seeing MaxPax reinvent his PvP, and we have been seeing more Forge and Cannon heavy play as a follow-up to the Void Ray opener. So we have seen MaxPax adjust and adapt and have a little bit more success, but there's still a lot more unease when it comes to PvP for MaxPax. Gate expand here, hyper greed out of MaxPax, cutting all the corners. Meanwhile, herO setting up for the proxy, setting up for the one base all in. Let's go. When it comes to the builds, I do favor herO here. I do feel like the initial proxy and the initial robo and the one base all in should be favored against what MaxPax is going for, but we'll see if MaxPax plays it safe, bearing in mind he's scouting and MaxPax does see that a pylon is missing. Now, what is scary about herO is that herO is very diverse, which means he can go for a one base all in, he can fake a one base all in, he can go for a greedier expansion instead and out greed MaxPax. herO, he can be very flexible in PvP. Does lead to some, I would say, a lot of variance when it comes to his performance. There's a lot of, like, high risk, high reward kind of play from herO, and we'll see how he handles MaxPax. As here comes the robo, here comes the one base all in. Now, MaxPax, you can see scouting. He does scout the left hand side, and MaxPax, he will eventually see this. This pathway will force him to go down the ramp, and we'll see the robo on location. We'll confirm. Behind this is going to be a Stargate opener here by MaxPax, with Stargate as the tech of choice. Now, we mentioned earlier that we've been seeing a lot of Forges as a reaction and response to help defend and help support the Void Rays. We'll see if we have a Forge response here as well from MaxPax. As MaxPax, he will confirm the robo. He knows. And MaxPax is now fully aware. Ooh, herO does shoot first. He wants that adept. He wants him. Ooh. MaxPax does shade away. Shades away across the map. Behind this, we do have our initial Stargate finishing. Stargate does complete. Void Ray's on the way. He's getting his Void Ray, getting his batteries. And we'll see if herO can break through. See if you can break through. Meanwhile, there's a Forge, no surprises there. If you recall, I kept referring to it because it's very common, is the Forge and Cannon defense. Now, this is common, this is new to the recent meta, to recent months of StarCraft. I mentioned earlier how MaxPax he was struggling last year after the removal of shield battery overcharge. This is his solution. Now, with the removal of shield battery overcharge, it means that shield batteries are weaker defensively in PvP. Cannons may help make up for that. So he has to buy time for his Forge, buy time for his Cannons. It's all about buying time. You're moving in. Let's move in. So far, good juggling. Oh no! Ooh, barely saved the Stalker. Whew. Yeah, barely does save. Prism takes some hits. And so far, the juggling. Ooh, we'll lose one. Yeah, one Stalker does go down, and batteries are running out of energy. Yeah, batteries are running out. Void Ray barely survives. Ooh, but we depower. Oh no! The Artosis pylon! Everything is depowered. Thankfully, the SimCity does allow the Void Rays to be safe. Yeah, Void Rays are safe for now, but the Stalkers are getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. They're getting out of control here. Pylons are finishing. Batteries are repowered. Ooh, gets one. Does get one Stalker. Takes down one, but only the one here. Cannon is now done, but GG gets called. MaxPax is broken, and herO takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, herO. He does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense couple of moments there for herO and MaxPax. Winding it back here, again, herO did have the build order lead, the build order advantage, as herO was going for the one base solid against the hyper greed of MaxPax. And again, MaxPax, he needed more time, but specifically on 10,000 feet, the rush distance background is very short, doesn't take long at all to reinforce. So these all-ins, these aggressive builds are even more favored on 10,000 feet. GG. GG, well played. With that herO, he was able to barely reinforce in time, barely break on through, and barely break MaxPax before his batteries got up, before his cannons got up, ensuring that everything stayed depowered before MaxPax could really situate himself there and really gain a foothold at his natural. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Oh, okay, one of the larger maps instead. Interesting. Now, because the map is so large, there are a lot of proxy locations, so proxies are still relatively common, but reinforcements from across the map are more delayed compared to the map we just saw. So that is another factor to bear in mind. Let's go. Let's jump on in. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. As once again, MaxPax going for the gate expand. So he's got that low ground setup. Now we might see MaxPax adjust here and go for additional gases first and go for like a cyber core before Nexus. But otherwise it should be the same build. 2 games in a row should be gate expand. Now, what we just mentioned here, there are a lot of proxy locations. There are a lot of possibilities here to set up across the map. Eyes are on herO. As herO does open up double gas. So gate into, I would imagine, cyber core. No, 2 gate. Okay, 2 gate opener. 2 gate opener out of herO. Eyes are on this probe. Does it go for a real or fake proxy? Based on its location, it's quite far away, actually. Yeah, it looks like a fake out. Oof, herO, he's gambling. So, okay, so here's the gamble. So herO's going for a fake proxy, a fake all-in. Meanwhile, MaxPax is very much so going for the same build. When it comes to the mind games, MaxPax comes out on top. herO, he believes that because herO just won game 1 with a cheese, with an all-in, that MaxPax wouldn't dare to go for a hyper-greedy build, but MaxPax is. So MaxPax, he calls herO's bluff, and MaxPax will come out ahead when it comes to the builds of choice. And herO doesn't know. Remember, herO, no SCV scout, or no probe scout. There's no probe scout, so herO has no idea. Cyber is finishing. And herO will be playing from behind. Or at least economically, herO's behind. Now, herO can still turn this into a one-base all-in, but it's going to be delayed. And he still has yet to confirm what's going on. Nexus almost done. Stargate's on the way. This time it's going to be a much more comfortable early game here for MaxPax. As herO, now he confirms. Yep, now he sees, now he knows. He's like, ah, god damn it. MaxPax, he finds the probe as well, ensuring that herO does not proxy. Twilight Council first out of herO. Ooh. Yeah, it's looking rough here. It looks like herO wants to go into Blink and potentially into a one-base all-in with extra gateways. Probe was hunted down. And here he has, at least initially, currently, the Stalker advantage. Gonna be zoned away. Third gateway, yep, one base all in. Oh, and we scout. And Depth does get a scout off. MaxPax, he knows. He responds with extra batteries. There's that forge on the way that we did mention last time. The forge is just a standard part of this defense. Getting ready with cannons. And again, this time MaxPax should be able to freely build up into this. I say that sword count is getting high. Oh no! Here's getting low. That one stalker. Battery is going to go down. Takes down the battery, but the Void Ray does arrive. And the Void Ray has arrived. herO getting his own proxy pylon to reinforce across the map. Again, it's going to be 3-gate blink. But the problem here with this build from herO is that it's hitting so much later, which means, unlike last time, all this side defense is going to finish. The cannons, the batteries. There's going to be a second Void Ray already. Now, I will say that a sentry's morphing in. What does that mean? It means we can force field, true. We can also get high ground vision and blink into the main. So herO, he can try to bypass this position and dive into the main base instead. Just has to keep that sentry alive. Yep, sentry pulls back, waiting for that hallucination. You can see just so much committed here into this side defense. So many resources. And again, herO's best chance is to just go straight into the main. Just go straight into the main base. Blink is still not yet done. Takes down the gateway. herO, he hasn't lost a single stalker yet. Now he's going for it. He's going for the dive. And now Max actually notices. Yeah, he does notice. It's too late. Yeah, it's too little too late. Here we go for the dive. Boys are being pulled. Pylon goes down. Depowers the Stargate. And Void Rays are exposed. Yeah, the Void Rays are exposed. He gets one. He gets two. He gets two Void Rays. One Void Ray left. And with that, MaxPax, he's caught with his pants down. Again, he had everything at the natural. GG gets called. And herO, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. Ay, ay, ay. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MaxPax, he got baited into throwing down all of his side defense at the natural, and if you saw, he realized too late. He did have that realization when he saw herO rotate to the right hand side. He started up the shield battery in the main base. Like, he started throwing down batteries in the main, but it was too little too late. Late realization there from MaxPax. GG, well played. And herO, despite having a shaky start, he was able to catch MaxPax with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. As again, MaxPax, he was underprepared in the main, and with that, we're getting ready for game number 3. Whew. Hi. We're getting ready for game 3 here, and we'll see if MaxPax can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. Oh boy. As we load it into Title Citadel. And again, once again, I want to praise herO for his diverse play. Despite herO having a rougher start, and despite herO failing when it came to the initial builds of choice, his transition was solid. Or I should say, it was hinging on the fact that MaxPax wouldn't have anything in the main base. So it was a big risk, as always with herO. It was a big risk, it was a big gamble, but it paid off. Did pay off going for the delayed blink all in. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Title Citadel. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player, the South Green Protoss representing T1. It is herO. We go again. It was just a big gamba there from herO, just biding his time, of course, biding his time, building up his stalkers, waiting for that big blink timing, and then just pivoting directly into the main base. Again, MaxPax was completely caught off guard. He was underprepared, and for the first time this series, high ground wall. MaxPax, he has been forced to respect herO here, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna start going for the low ground setup here, high ground wall off instead. Okay. We'll see if MaxPax can make a series out of this. Now, despite this, I still don't believe he's going to go for a 2-gate opener, but oh, never mind. 2-gate, okay. Very rare side here, but a 2-gate opener out of MaxPax. Okay, I see you. herO, no, the turns have tabled. The turns have tabled. herO's going for his own gate into Cybercore, into Nexus. Hyper greed out of herO, and this time it's going to be MaxPax's turn to 1-base all in. Wow. The turns have tabled, pappy. Can herO do his best MaxPax impression? Can MaxPax do his best herO impression? Let's go. Yep, here comes a proxy. This should be for a robo, but technically this could be a location for a proxy Stargate. It should be a robot though to commit to the one base all in. Let's go. We're just waiting for the Cybercore. Cybercore's done. Robo. Yeah, proxy Robo, one base all in from MaxPax. herO going for a gate, Cyber, Stargate into expansion, going for the Void Ray first. Well, he has access to Void Rays, I should say. Now, I will say that herO, he's already being safe. Remember, herO went Stargate before Nexus. MaxPax would not do this. MaxPax, he was going Nexus before Stargate. So this is already a bit of a safer, greedy build here from herO compared to what MaxPax was doing. Probe Scout does confirm the Stargate. MaxPax is now aware of the timing. And we'll see if MaxPax can pull this off. herO scouting. Here he does check the third location. Does he check further down? He does not. Ooh, I mean, he's close. He's close, but he does check the center of the map instead. Looking for the proxy. Doesn't find him. Yeah, does not find MaxPax. As here, he does get some extra shots off on the Adept. Adept say shade in towards the natural. Do shade in, taking extra hits. More Stalkers on the way. Here he does get into the main base. He confirms the gateway. He confirms lack of pylon. He knows. Here is now fully aware of the all-in. Where are the Void Rays? Okay, he's got one. Okay. He's got one Void Ray. He's got a shield battery as well. MaxPax rotating towards the main. Here to spot the army. And here he does intercept. Oh no! Yeah, here intercepts. MaxPax could be zoned away. He does not have enough anti-air. He only has 2 Stalkers. He cannot fight the Void Ray. And if that prison went down, that would have been game. that would have been game then and there. Whew. Okay, MaxPax, he pulls back. He's got to be careful. There it is. Now he's got 3 more Stalkers, 5 in total. Now he does have plenty of anti-air. You see the Void Ray on patrol on the main. MaxPax moving in. Here it does keep up. Here he has to be careful. I'm sure he's tempted to go for the prism. The temptation is there. Oof. And messy force field. Guardian shield is activated. Here is getting a 3rd Void Ray. I'm a little bit concerned with the lack of batteries. It's only 1. And it's only 1 battery. Here is getting cornered. Oh no! Yeah, he's getting cornered here. He's forced to fight. Prismatic alignment is activated. Does focus on the Immortal. Immortal goes down. The Prism is too far back. He cannot micro. Yeah, cannot micro. With that, another Void Ray arrives, and here he shuts us down. Wow, he shuts us down. Down to 4 Stalkers. Down to 2. Yeah, 2 Stalkers left. I'm sure hero's looking for the prism. He finds it. Oh no! Ah, he's got the Phoenix as well. Wow, and he cannot get away. He cannot get away. The prism, it's gonna go down. It cannot escape. Double Adept into the main. 2 Adepts taking 1-shot probes. Yeah, gets 1 probe so far. Gets 1 probe, but things looking bleak here for MaxPax. He lost the entire army. He lost the Warp Prism. He cannot reinforce. He cannot juggle. He's down to 1 Immortal. And Max actually can't even engage. Like, the Phoenix is coming to lift. He's coming. He wants the Immortal. He gets it. Oh, God. The Immortal's going to be focused down. Phoenix does pull away. Yeah, the Void Ray tanks. Immortal falls. And with that, herO snowballs out of control. Cleans up the army. A little bit messy towards the end. Yeah, a little bit messy. But in the end, herO, he will break through. Chasing MaxPax all the way back home. You just chase him back. You have MaxPax going for the backstab. herO does not give chase. He turns back around. Okay. herO turns back around. And remember, the longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. herO has he has a base. herO, he has natural. MaxPax does not. So herO is just getting further ahead. Further ahead. I still would feel more... Okay, we're good. I was going to say I still would feel more comfortable seeing a second shield battery. We do have a second battery and a second pylon. And even a battery in the main base just in case. So here he's very secure. This is a little bit risky going across the map with the initial Oracle and with 2 Adepts as well. But he's just gonna force it. Yeah, he's gonna force you all in. Herbs are being one-shots. It's all or nothing for MaxPax. MaxPax, he commits, and he has that immortal. The boys are being pulled. MaxPax, he can still pull this off. Yeah, he can still pull the boys. The boys are stuck behind the army. A lot of stalkers are going down, and here he didn't make a void ray. Yeah, he did not make a void ray here. Messy defense out of herO. It did not have to be this messy. Facer trap going up. And herO again, he's getting a Phoenix. There's the energy overcharge. Yeah, herO, he was so greedy here in his response. MaxPax, he can still do this. It's getting close. It's getting close. The immortal is going to be picked up. Phoenix has arrived. I don't know if that really helps. Does lift. Does go for the immortal, but he takes so many hits. Ooh, yeah, so many shots go up. But hero's still holding. It was a very messy defense, but herO, he still holds on. GG gets called, and herO, he will take the series 3-0, becoming the PiGosaur Cup number 68 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO, he does claim the series. 3-0. Again, able to punish MaxPax's greed in game 1 and game 2, and herO able to punish MaxPax's all-in game 3. GG, well played. See in chat, wow, you don't see MaxPax losing like this. If you watch herO versus MaxPax and Classic versus MaxPax, nowadays I would say MaxPax's worst matchup is PvP. Over the past year, as I tried to allude to previously, but specifically in PvP, ever since the change last year at the beginning of last year, when the shield battery overcharge was removed, MaxPax's PvP has been in decline. The reason for this, just to give a brief explanation, and I feel like you saw it in full display in game 2. I feel like game 2 was maybe the best example of it. But the way the PvP changed was that with the removal of shield battery overcharge, it means that you need more batteries to accomplish the same thing as previously, right? So you have to commit harder to stack defense. That's why we mentioned in game 1 and game 2 that the MaxPax's answer to that is cannons. But it means that you have to commit even harder. One, that means that if you get mind gamed, you're punished more, and that does happen, where herO fakes an all-in and then goes for greed, and then MaxPax is stuck with like excess of batteries and cannons, and then he falls behind. Or you have to commit even harder to your stack defense, and if you get out of position, then what's left in your other base, right? Which we saw in game 2, where MaxPax, he threw down all these cannons and shield batteries at the natural, but his main was exposed, right? So like because of the change, and because you have to commit harder to stack defense, like it does mean that you're more invested, and you can be punished for that a little bit harder as well. And that's where MaxPax has been struggling in PvP that much more. But GG well played. Despite that, I will say that MaxPax, he has been working on his PvP actively, of course, and he has been looking for solutions when it comes to specifically his greedy style of going for the faster expansion. But GG well played. Again, herO can be a very difficult player to keep up with. He can be a very flexible player himself, and herO does claim a 3-0. GG well played. herO. But the PvP did change dramatically last year after the change to the shield battery and the introduction of the energy overcharge. But GG well played with that. Congratulations, herO. He does claim the series. He does claim the series is going to be our champion. Shout out to MaxPax, because despite going down to herO, MaxPax, he excelled against Cure. And MaxPax, he does straight up have some of the best PvT in the world. It's up there. It's up there alongside herO, alongside MaxPax, alongside Classic. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. I would say that Classic has like the best late game PvT. I would say that herO, he has the most like flexible and aggressive and unorthodox PvT, and then MaxPax is just like solid all around. So they each kind of like have their own specialities. And MaxPax, he has been excelling in PvT quite a bit as of late, and did look very solid against Cure. Very solid. GG well played. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up. Going to be wrapping up here for the morning. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. A bit of a shorter broadcast today, just because we only had limited replays. Like, we did not have the upper semis replays or the quarterfinal replays. So we had very, very limited replays available here tonight. So does lead to a shorter broadcast, but we still have more StarCraft ahead of us here. As you can see, exclamation mark schedule in the chat. We just wrapped up with our Tuesday morning broadcast. Tonight we're going to be live with Kung Fu Cup. We have Kung Fu Cup tonight, and we have PiGosaur Cup on Wednesday. Now, usually Kung Fu Cups are on Wednesdays. They're on Tuesday this week. Why? Because of RSL. Rival StarCraft League is going to be beginning this week, and it's going to be beginning Wednesday evening. You can see the empty slots. You can see that empty slot on Wednesday over there. That's empty because of RSL. So Rival StarCraft League does begin this Wednesday. We also have GSL as well. Sorry, my apologies, I got it mixed up. RSL is over the weekend. My apologies. RSL is over the weekend. That's why there's no Tuna Cup on Sunday. You can see that Sunday slot open. The reason why the Wednesday slot is open is because that is when GSL is. So my apologies. GSL is middle of the week, RSL is end of the week. So we have GSL and RSL this week. As you can see here, we will be casting the GSL via replays over the weekend. You can see Saturday, Sunday morning cast. We do have the replay coverage of GSL, but otherwise the live coverage of GSL is going to be on Wednesday. You can see that empty slot. See that empty slot? So we'll have GSL. Otherwise, we also have the podcast, more PiGosaur Cup action. You can see here we have PiGosaur Cup on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Again, this is basically the catch-up week, where there were a couple of weeks here and there because of things happening IRL, where I just wasn't able to cast PiGosaur Cup, so we're catching up. We have the live cast tomorrow for PiGosaur Cup, and then another replay cast on Friday and Saturday. So catching up on PiGosaur Cups. Like we have StarCraft Evolution League on Thursday, and we have Uthermal 2 Circuit on Friday. Fun fact, that's the final SCL Open Cup on Thursday. The final StarCraft Evolution League Open Tournament. Remember, they are discontinuing the Open Cups, and they're starting their own Codes. There's going to be the StarCraft Evolution Codes that's going to be on the horizon. So this is going to be the final Open Cup for the year, or for the season. For the season, before Codes. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, we'll be live later on tonight with Kung Fu Cup. Otherwise, take care. Take care of yourselves. Get some rest. I'm going to go get some breakfast. I'm going to go get some breakfast, get some food to clean up, and get some errands done. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. If you missed out on some of the other casts this week, I do highly recommend checking out yesterday's TLMC coverage. We did go over the top 16 maps of the Team Liquid map contest. We went over our judge feedback and the other judges' feedback as well. It was an interesting experience. Judge A and B, they were profound in what they had to say. Kappa. If you know, you know. But I do recommend it if you're interested in that sort of thing, and like the analysis of maps and the process in which we kind of went through the judging process of all these maps and what we looked for, what we didn't look for, how we approached that. Is all there, is all available. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys later on tonight for Kung Fu Cup, or tomorrow for PiGosaur Cup. We'll see you next time. Otherwise, you can also support us via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does support our tournaments on a regular basis, so you can support us on Patreon. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tonight or tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Regardless, whether you tune into our broadcast or not, do tune into the GSL. GSL is this week, RSL is this week. A lot of StarCraft is on the way. I remember Topin earlier, he was like, yo, there's so much StarCraft going on right now. It's not going to stop. There's still a lot of StarCraft going on. It can be hard to keep up. But best of luck. Best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck. Try to catch up, Pappy. It's a lot to catch up on. Don't envy. But we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, Pappy, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.